Sego, Segoi, Segoi, Segway? Day 17. Today, I thought it would be really fun to do an accessibility makeover. And a friend of mine sent me a slide in PowerPoint for me to roast. I have her permission to roast it. So I'm hoping this is going to be fun. Cindy, I'm sorry. I sincerely hope that this is actually one of the crappiest slides you have, because this will be more fun for me. Yeah, let's open it up and see what happens. So we have bulleted lists, some text, colors that are probably a little difficult to read. Let's see what the theme colors are. So first thing is I always check the theme colors. Are they programmed in? I mean, those are really pretty theme colors. They're not. Well, let's just for fun see what Bright Slide says. Bright Slide, by the way, if you have not used this, is a fantastic free add-on for both Mac and PC versions of PowerPoint. And the tools in here are all the things that you wish PowerPoint did, but they haven't incorporated into the program. So by doing this, I can go into Bright Slide and click on the theme colors area, and there's a color contrast report. All I have to do is click a button and wait for a few seconds. This actually builds out what passes and what doesn't pass. The magic number in these little boxes for passing color contrast is 4.5. And what's really cool about Bright Slide is that it puts all of the color combinations in your theme that pass on the left, and on the right, all of the color combinations that you should just not use. Look, under this pink color, these dark colors don't pass. None of them do. So what does that mean? That I have a sneaking suspicion that my eyes are already telling me that the text color here isn't passing color contrast? I'm right. That's what it's telling me, is that I'm pretty much right. So what should we do about that? First thing to improve this accessibility is just change the text color to white. And it already is so much more readable. And the same thing for the title. One line of centered text for a title like this isn't a bad thing. That's perfectly readable. It's a title, it's at the top, it's centered over the content. That's great. These, however, these are a little weird. I'm not gonna lie. I would make that all left aligned and not center it. And if you really want to differentiate it, oh yeah, okay. So Segoi light is the body copy, and making Segoi light bold is really not even noticeable. So why not just use regular Segoi? Even though it says heading and that's in the body, at least it's going to make it visually different from the rest and kind of cognitively separate that. So that's not bad. And the font sizes, I mean, that's great. You can read those. Now, I think that the line height is a little tight. So for people who have dyslexia, this might cause some issues with trying to read, because those letter forms are, especially over here, super, super close to each other. With the descender on the P and the ascender on the D, they are almost touching. So what I would do for these is come into my line spacing and go to line spacing options. And this is currently set to line spacing of 0.9. Line spacing options. And here's a struggle a lot of people have with PowerPoint. If I want to adjust my character spacing or my line spacing or any of that kind of stuff, I have to pull up this modal, and there's no live preview. So I'm literally just guessing at this point. But if you want to see a live preview of your spacing and kerning and stuff, get Bright Slide. So if I go into Bright Slide with that text selected, I can go here under typography, click that drop down menu, and I can say, hey, live paragraph spacing. It gives me this little modal here. And what I want to do is line spacing. I'll click on that, and then I can drag it and I get a live preview of what it looks like. So we also have this before and after. The spacing between the bulleted points, because the text is so big, is a little small. The spacing should be just a bit bigger. So since everything is set to before spacing, let's take that and we'll just slide it up 15, I think is great. I can also manually enter it here. That is so much more readable. I've done all this editing over here. If I select that text, I can pick up the styles by Shift, Control, or Command C, and then I can select the text over here and Shift, Command V. So now that spacing is so much better. And now we have this image. Okay. Ideally, I would say get rid of it overall, but if you get pushback and they want to have their clip art books on here, make sure there's alt text. So let's see what's there. Edit alt text. How about this? A stack of books. But I could also argue that this really doesn't have any effect on the content here. It doesn't drive the story. And so I wouldn't even want the screen reader to announce this. And in that case, just mark it as decorative. That is the accessibility makeover level 1. Let's level it up a bit. We'll duplicate this slide and we're going to get rid of that clip art. Bye, clip art. Now, background. Format background. Right click on the thing, format the background. Let's see if we can find a picture. Picture source. Okay, PowerPoint. If you see this, my friends, in the ribbon, I can insert a picture from stock images here. Can I also please have that on my format background pane? We're just going to do the background image the wrong way right now. Insert a picture from stock. Now, Microsoft has given you a lot of free stock images that you can use, and I want to search for stack of books. Let's just do this one. Let's insert that. Right click on the shape, send to back, and now I do want this title to be left aligned. I'm going to make this text that dark blue. Let me just line some of this stuff up. This text is big and maybe it don't fit too well here. And now if we make that smaller, we really need to fix that line spacing. So line spacing options 1. Let's do line spacing options 4. Just reset it to everything to 0 and single so I can see what the default looks like. I hate that. I can't just type 0 and have it work for some reason. I actually have to use these arrows to set things appropriately. So now we have things structured approximately the way I want it to be. Okay, so we're here, still making this slide over. Now what we need is a semi-transparent gradient that goes between our picture and our text so we can read it better. To do that, we'll insert the shape, format, shape. And now select the picture and the gradient, send it to back. Okay, now this text should not be white anymore. We'll also make that the blue. Okay, and now what can we do? Look at this. This text runs over here. I can almost get this to run straight across the slide without, I can almost have all of those bullets on a single line. And I'm really picky about things. So let's see if I can change the crop of this picture. How do I do that? Well, first of all, I'm going to drag it out so the books are like that. Oh, look at that. That book goes right in between. I like that a lot. So let's get this cropping tool and just crop it to the size of the slide. Now that I'm pleased with. So it's readable, it's consistent. You've got visual indicators of hierarchy. So the big headline is the biggest. And then your next things is bold, what, and why. Okay, let's check the tab / reading order. To do that, I can click on the arrow next to the arrange and open up the selection pane. And from there, we can see pictures on the bottom. I haven't marked that as decorative, so that's going to be announced. So I will mark that as decorative after I get out of this reading order. Then we have this rectangle gradient, which should also be marked as decorative because it's just to help it be more readable and has absolutely nothing to do with anything on the slide. Okay, so our title is called text placeholder 1. We need that to be first. In the selection pane, it reads from bottom to top. So we want 1 on bottom, then 2, and then 3. Okay, now our reading order is correct. And the last thing I can do is edit the alt text on my image, mark that as decorative, and on my gradient, mark that as decorative. Now we've got a great slide. Okay, now both of these slides are accessible. This is your very short turnaround time, and this is your longer turnaround time when you have time to noodle around on the design. There you go. Makeover. Cindy, I hope I did okay. Thanks for sending a slide. If anybody else has slides that they want to send in or any kind of digital content that you would like to see me review for accessibility and then fix up, leave a message in the comments and we can have some fun with this. that is it. Thanks for stopping by on day 17. Have a fantastic week.